Liberatory CPA Studios. I'm Rick Amato. Well, big news trending in the news circle. If you've not heard, a Chinese tech giant called Huawei has been put out by the U.S. government as saying that they are a threat to international security, a threat to U.S. security, and a threat to our allies. And the White House has asked all U.S. allies to back away from Huawei, not to get involved with them. And we'll find out what they do and what the concerns are from the U.S. government. However, the defense secretary of the UK has been sacked, has been fired when he allegedly leaked. He says he didn't. But Theresa May fired him when it was leaked, allegedly, that the UK has agreed to do business with Huawei. It's a big story considering obviously the UK is our number one ally. U.S. government's advising all allies to step back. They step forward. Join me this time via Skype from Washington, D.C. is one of this nation's leading experts on technology. He is the CEO of the Gov Cloud Network, a tremendous social media influencer. Kevin Jackson. Kevin, welcome back to the show.
Hello, thank you very much for having me again.
And Kevin, for those who may not be following the story, take a moment and describe what it is that Huawei, this Chinese high-tech company, does.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you have a telephone, you've probably heard of 4G or fourth generation wireless connectivity, and the new version, which is 5G or fifth generation wireless telecommunications. Well, 4G was really a consumer thing where people were now able to play games easily on their mobile devices, stream videos, and really have entertainment. 5G, on the other hand, is really a business thing because of lower latency, higher bandwidth. These businesses can now deliver much better business models and capabilities. Things like the connected car, the Internet of Things. All of these solutions will depend upon the capability of 5G.
And I assume Huawei is a leader in that technology?
Yes, absolutely. So Huawei develops the hardware for these 5G networks. And they are the leader globally with respect to the infrastructure of 5G.
All right, so
now, and in fact, many countries are leveraging Huawei to build out their own 5G networks.
I see, and lots of controversy, if you will, surrounding China and some of the stories we hear about their objectives. I could see on the surface where this administration might be concerned that a government like China has a Chinese company, should I say, a Chinese company is getting involved in the technology issues of the U.S. or her allies. Have there been any specific instances where we can point to Huawei and say, look, here is where they're a security threat?
So, everyone has heard that China has blamed for intellectual capital theft.
Yeah.
But there has not been any proof that Huawei is actually engaged in that type of activity. In fact, the intelligence community, the United States intelligence community, has been pushing that there is a huge cybersecurity issue with respect to using Huawei hardware. But to counter that, many countries, including some of our best allies, like the Federal Republic of Germany, have actually evaluated Huawei hardware and have found nothing wrong with it. In fact, even the United Kingdom has had their hardware in a lab for over 5 years and have found no issue with the hardware.
Now, where do you suppose the U.S. government is this all politics?
So some claim that maybe this is just politics. And actually, a few weeks ago, the intelligence community sort of hinted that they may back off on their stalwart objections to letting Huawei. But it's not like Huawei is not in the country. They have been deploying hardware mostly in rural United States for quite a few years. And in fact, 5G technology has been deployed using Huawei in Mexico.
Are there any competitors of Huawei on this 5G technology?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. One of the biggest competitors is Ericsson out of Sweden. They too have been building and growing their market share. So there are alternatives.
Now, okay, so there are alternatives. We see no smoking gun. As you say, Germany has studied the hardware for 5 years.
Right.
I would think perhaps the biggest concern, and it feels like more of an inference, is that, I mean, we're not talking laissez-faire when it comes to business in China. What role does the government play in influencing and getting involved in Chinese businesses?
That's a great question, because historically the government has been part of just about any commercial enterprise from China. Huawei, on the other hand, claims that the government has no input and no control about their company.
What do you think?
So I believe that, sure, there is reason to be concerned and to be cautious. But we're in a world today where, using cloud computing, we are using other people's technology, other people's infrastructure, so to speak, and we should be protecting our data. We're transitioning from trying to rely on infrastructure and to protect our data, but to go to a data-centric cybersecurity model. So if we're actually doing that, the infrastructure shouldn't matter. That's the way I sort of look at it. And if we are forced to really up our game on protecting our data by letting Huawei come into the country, so be it. It'll be better for us all.
You know, and Kevin, again, as we pointed out, our number one ally, UK, they sacked their defense secretary after he allegedly leaked that the UK was going to move forward in working with, allowing Huawei to work within their country. Why would he leak this? I don't understand.
So, as you said, it is alleged that he leaked it. He is adamant that he did not leak the information. And personally, I don't see what value it would be for him to leak the information. But this is really a sort of view into the relationship that the United States may have or may be losing with the United Kingdom and the rest of our allies.
Wow. Wow. Interesting story, Kevin Jackson. Again, you are the CEO of GovCloud Network. My apologies for the mispronunciation.
No problem. Thank you.
For our viewers who may have missed previous interviews, tell us what GovCloud is.
So GovCloud Network is a leading cloud computing consulting organization where we provide consulting, training, and education around cloud computing. We also do a lot around social media and educating the marketplace on the business models that leverage the global and parallel nature of cloud. So 5G is really an enabler to just about every cloud-based business model.
All right. Kevin Jackson, important stories in the news. We'll see how this plays out. It's certainly a controversial one. We thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you very much, Rick.
Broadcasting from the Liberatory CPA studios, back after this.
Politics and Profits with Rick Amato is brought to you by Liberatory Accounting, the IRS problem solvers. To find out how Liberatory Accounting can help you, call 877-6-SOLVER. That's 877-6-SOLVER.